First at 5, a police chase ends when a stolen vehicle crashes into an occupied home in southeast Portland. The driver then allegedly broke into another home nearby and hid until officers found him. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. Even wilder than the chase itself is what officers found inside the stolen truck. A fake law enforcement badge, among other things. Let's bring in Mike Benner from outside the Multnomah County Justice Center. Mike, the suspect went before a judge late this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Laurel. The suspect's name is Joshua Farrell. His court appearance was brief, lasting only a few minutes. He did not even enter a plea, and we got no explanation for why he was in possession of a fake DEA badge. Here's what we know, though. This chase that he led police on could have ended a lot worse than it did.
This is about the worst that's ever happened, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The exterior damage to Charles Daniels' Southeast Portland home only begins to tell the story of what happened here late Sunday morning.
I heard this crash and then heard this just roar of a revving. And I was like, what could this guy be doing? I heard this other crash and then another crash, and I felt a little bit of a jolt. Tried to ignore that.
But there was no ignoring what was playing out right outside Daniels' home near Southeast 45th and Taylor. Authorities say a man in a stolen truck hit Daniels' house while trying to get away from officers. The man then rammed a police cruiser before bailing out of the truck and taking off on foot.
We were all in lockdown for, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours while they searched for the guy.
Officers eventually found the man hiding in the basement of a home near Southeast 46th and Salmon.
Just a sad, broken, desperate person trying to get away, I guess, you know.
The suspect, later identified as Joshua Farrell, was in court Monday afternoon. The 36-year-old is facing nearly 3 dozen charges, including impersonating a police officer. That's because of what officers found inside the stolen truck. They discovered a counterfeit DEA badge, handcuffs, an airsoft gun, as well as drugs and cash.
It's just crazy. It's wow. It's very sad. It's very sad. I just feel, I don't know, I kind of feel more sorry for the guy than anything else at this point.
Charles Daniels is also feeling grateful that the neighbor kids weren't playing outside when Farrell came barreling down the street. They could have been hurt, but weren't. At the end of the day, just some superficial damage to Daniels' home.
He could have gone through the space, you know. He didn't hit the window. He didn't hit our air system. So, yeah, in a lot of ways, we're pretty fortunate, I think.
All right, it turns out the suspect, Joshua Farrell, is no stranger to law enforcement. He has a criminal history dating back more than a decade for things like theft and burglary. And we learned in 2019 he was actually busted for escaping from a correctional facility in Washington County. David.
What a story. Mike Benner reporting. Thank you, Mike. A traffic alert this evening. I-5 South is shut down north of Woodburn due to a deadly crash. This affects all the southbound lanes, and ODOT says this closure is going to last through the evening commute. Traffic right now backed up all the way to Tualatin. This is a live look from the ODOT cam in Wilsonville. You can see cars and trucks there at a standstill. We'll keep an eye on it for you, but drivers are advised to avoid the area completely if they can.
3 people are dead following a crash on Highway 101 on the coast. It happened earlier today between Lincoln City and Depot Bay. No details yet on what caused it. Oregon State Police are investigating, and we will update you when we learn more. Police around the area are investigating a number of shootings from the weekend. In North Portland, a man was found dead yesterday morning. The shooting happened in the Portsmouth neighborhood near North Fessenden and North Geneva Avenue. This is video of the area from last night. The victim's name has not yet been released. Police also haven't released any information about what led up to the shooting or a suspect. Gun violence in Gresham, too. Early Sunday morning, 2 people were shot in the area of Northeast Hogan Drive and Northeast Burnside. Both victims are expected to recover. No word there on a motive or suspect. Witnesses did say they saw 3 cars leave the area after hearing gunshots. And in Salem, 2 18-year-olds were hurt in a shooting Saturday night. They say someone in an SUV shot at their vehicle near Vista Avenue. Both should survive. Salem police are asking anyone with information to contact them.
A big update today on the potential future of Portland city government. A Multnomah County judge ruled a set of proposed reforms to Portland's city charter can move forward to the November ballot. There had been a lawsuit alleging the reform package violated what is called the single subject requirement in the Oregon Constitution. The judge ruled that is not the case. Now, if passed, Portland is looking at several big changes. The city council would expand from 5 members, including the mayor, to 12 councilors, 3 each from 4 new geographic districts. The mayor would move to an executive role, and a city manager, essentially a CEO of sorts, would be hired to oversee day-to-day operations and the various bureaus. Well, it appears Betsy Johnson has enough signatures to get on the Oregon ballot this fall. Johnson is running for Oregon governor as an unaffiliated candidate. She needed almost 24,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Her campaign says at this point she has more than that. She will deliver them to the Secretary of State tomorrow so they can be verified. Johnson used to be a Democrat in the Oregon State Senate. She's now part of a 3-way race for governor along with Democrat Tina Kotek and Republican Christine Drazen.
For the 3rd time in 5 years, a fire damaged Rio's ribs in northeast Portland. Portland Fire and Rescue still investigating the cause of Saturday's fire. A fire first gutted the restaurant back in 2017. They were able to reopen then, opened in 2020, and it caught fire again. That time the act was caught on camera and showed a transient woman starting it. Rio's lost its insurance coverage after the last 2 fires. The company has a new insurance provider but is waiting to hear back.
You're having a hard time staying open as it is, let alone, a fire every 6 months or a year or whatever. We don't know if they will still cover or not. So right now, it's not so much insurance we're depending on ourselves.
It is such a shame to see. The restaurant hopes to reopen in the next 2 to 6 months.
To our homeless crisis tonight, and a trend we are watching across much of Multnomah County. Families in North Portland say they are selling their homes due to the presence of homeless camps and in particular violence. For sale signs are lining the streets in neighborhoods that were once sought after. Neighbors say homeless along the Peninsula Crossing Trail are making folks really feel unsafe. They tell us at least 3 families just along McKenna Avenue are selling.
It's the first time in a long time that we've actually seriously thought about moving.
It's sad. I'm sorry to hear it. I wouldn't blame anyone for wanting to leave. It's a very difficult scenario.
They shouldn't be scared of us for what? Because we live outside. Like, that's the reason why you should be scared of us, because we live outside. So if we lived in 4 walls in the house and stuff, would you still be scared of us?
The city has plans for Peninsula Crossing. We'll have much more on potential solutions tonight on The Story. That's at 6 right after NBC Nightly News, only here on KGW.
The Oregon Nurses Association is suing Providence Health, accusing it of wage theft. The lawsuit says Providence switched to a new payroll system last month. It alleges the system is faulty and underpays nurses. They're suing to recover lost wages. The Nurses Association said in a statement, this is a multi-billion-dollar company cheating nurses and working families out of their hard-earned livelihoods. Robbing workers of the money they rely on for food, rent, and basic needs is unacceptable. Providence responded, saying Providence apologizes to its caregivers and their families who've been affected by recent paycheck issues. We take these issues incredibly seriously, and we are working daily to identify and resolve reported issues. It also says it is retroactively paying employees their correct salaries and says any notion that this was done on purpose is false.